Hey yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video, man. And I know it has been a while since I've done anything political, anything on this channel. To be honest, I just had to take a break from everything politics after Trump won. I just got so drained from it all that it's just like your boy needed a break, so I started doing some gaming, started streaming, doing different things to, ease my mind. But now I'm like, I gotta get back into it. I gotta give the people what they want. You feel me? But you all, I'm coming back now because of the fact that the mostly peaceful but fiery protests inside of LA. So I just thought, we would just take a look at it, see what's going on. I'll get my 2 cents on it. So this is not going to be a long video. And I'm going to try to give you guys some content, as time goes on, over different little topics and things that come up. Like I may do a video about the Joe Rogan and Cash Patel interview that they did on the Joe Rogan podcast, him talking about the Epstein files. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into it. So, just off rip, you know, Trump has sent in, well, Trump and Tom Homan, they've gone through and they've, gone ahead and started clearing out some of the illegal immigrants in LA. They're just going ahead and getting rid of most of them at this point. And of course, people are rioting and protesting. Me personally, I don't understand why. I mean, I get it because people are outraged. Oh, they're trying to get rid of legal people or whatever. Everybody they're going after is illegal. So it doesn't even matter. My whole thing with illegal immigration, and we'll just go ahead and knock this out the way before we get any further. With illegal immigration, right? This is how I look at it. If you cross the border illegally, you are a criminal. If Trump and Tom Homan are coming after people who are criminals or illegal, that involves anybody that crossed the border illegally. This also makes it to where anybody that did come across the border legally, it makes what they did like a slap in the face in my eyes. And honestly, most of them actually feel like that if we're being real. Most of the people who are legal are like, yo, like, I did this legally. You guys are doing it illegally. Yeah, we got to get people out of the country. Plus, most of the country wanted illegal immigration to be cracked down on. So, this isn't like oh, most of the country doesn't want this to happen. This is like an 80-20 issue. Like 80% of the country wants this to happen. But anyways, man, as you see here, we got people saying F ICE. They waving Mexican flags like the flag of Mexico. You see here, they're burning stuff, doing this stuff, waving Mexican flags. You know what's funny about like most of this stuff? Democrats, illegals, different things like that. Anytime it comes to them supporting a side, it's always the wrong side. They're always waving Ukraine flags, Israel, I mean not Israel, Pakistan flags, Israel flags, Mexican flags, Mexico flags. And it's like, yo, like I'm not gonna lie now. This picture is tough. Like this is a tough photo. Like if I was this dude, this would be the lock screen on my phone. Now, although it would be the lock screen on my phone, I would be looking at it in Mexico because I'd be deported. You feel me? But this photo is real tough. But I mean, like, look at it. They're destroying the Waymo cars. I have no clue what Waymo's done to anybody in this circumstance. I don't know what Waymo's done to people. Why people are destroying the Waymos. Like, just Waymos are just caught in the crossfire. You feel me? But it's weird to me that you have illegal. Like, okay, the people that are being deported are illegal. But then you have people who are here who are legal Americans, or maybe they are illegal. I don't know. Maybe you gotta look into all these people. Like, I would look into this dude and see, like, is this man illegal? But you have these people protesting on the behalf of illegals, waving Mexican flags, but they live in the U.S. If you don't like the U.S. this bad, and you think ICE is this bad, and you want to wave this Mexican flag, bro, just go back to Mexico. Is it really that hard of a concept? Just go back to Mexico. But of course, they don't want to go back to Mexico because they know the US is nice. They're just, I don't, like, none of this makes sense. Like, it's like cognitive dissonance. Like, you live here in the US, You're protesting ICE deporting illegals where you'll spray paint F ICE on the car. You'll wave a Mexican flag for Mexico, but you live in the US. Like, maybe it's me. Like, me even trying to explain it is even confusing me. And of course, you got people like
The
Maxine
protest,
Waters
and
here.
even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot, nobody was killed. Get it in your head. And so when
She said no one created any violence, no one was shot, no one was killed. They already said that the people, some person died during the looting, so they've also been looting in LA. Um, Maxine Waters is a complete idiot. She's also the same one that during the Summer of Love, she said people need to take to the streets and fight and do all this extra stuff. I don't know who still has voted for this old lady to still be in like political power, but to be honest, it's kind of crazy.
martial law is called, what are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't miss the point, you all. Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence.
There was violence. The whole reason the National Guard and now the Marines were called Maxine Waters, which you clearly know, is because there was violence. Why would Trump call in the National Guard or call in the Marines if there was no violence? What would be the point of that? Sorry about that. I don't know why that popped up, but what would be the point of that? You know, they fail to realize like half the stuff that comes out their mouth makes little to no sense, and it just doesn't make any sense. Here goes another one of these, people protesting, waving a Mexico flag, but it's like, yo, you live in the US. Why are you protesting, waving the Mexican flag? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you are here in America, you've been here in America, why even stay in the US if you don't really like it this much to where you're waving another country's flag? I don't know. To me, it's just like cognitive dissonance. Like it really doesn't make any sense. Like, bro, look at this. Apparently these people have been rioting for 5 straight days. Like, how? Look, Mexico, like a Mexican flag here, Mexican flag there. You have some United States flags, which I definitely understand, but like, what are you protesting? My whole thing is, it kind of feels like at this point, people are just protesting for the sake of protesting because these people are illegal. So, like, what exactly are you protesting? And then, I just don't understand, man. I really don't understand. And now they're making Molotov cocktails? So they're making Molotov cocktails on the street in Modelo bottles. Now that's as Mexican as it gets. You know the Hispanics love their Modelo. I'm not gonna cap, Modelo is good. Not gonna lie. But these people need to be in prison, bro. They need to be in prison. None of this has anything to do with illegals. And I bet these people are legal US citizens. I bet you they're legal. Now, if they're illegal, like I said, look into them and get them deported. But these people are probably legal, protesting illegals being deported, but then they're making Molotov cocktails and stuff, waving the Mexican flag. It just doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make sense. No matter how much I try to make it make sense, it just it never does. And we had people like Gavin Newsom. He sat up here and said this is like January 6th. January 6th, right? Yes, it was a bad day. Yes, people shouldn't have done what they done. But January 6th was completely different. That was like people being mad about the process of an election. Yeah, they stormed the Capitol, but the riot lasted, what, like 1 to 2 hours? If you want to call it a riot, every time I see they just walking in the Capitol, walking around. This has been going on 5 days. They're burning, looting, everything. Like there's no way they could compare the two, bro. Did y'all see any people catch Waymos on fire and make Molotov cocktails out of Modelo's and different things like that in January 6th? No, I personally didn't either. Look, just Mexican flags everywhere. I mean, Mexico flags everywhere. Like I said, this is a hard photo that they took of that dude, but like, if he likes Mexico this much, send this man back across the border if he's illegal. If he's not, this is crazy. Like, how can people? There's no way to justify any of this. You know what I mean? There's no real justification for any of this. Anyways, man, I just really want to talk about the LA fire protest because I see that people like Maxine Waters is saying this, there was no violence. These are peaceful protests. This is that. They're just trying to make their voices heard. No, man, that's cap. These folks need to be charged with a crime. These folks are criminals. They're looting. They're doing everything under the sun, you know, for this actual stuff. And it doesn't make sense. Like the looting, here, I'll show you guys. You probably already seen it though. But this has nothing to do with illegals, bro. And you know what's funny to me? They always why do people loot always run into the Apple store to grab Apple products? Like Apple doesn't have these devices in demo mode or store mode, and when you steal them, they're basically brick devices. That makes no sense to me. Why even do this? Why even steal the products if you know you're not going to be able to use them? It's not like Apple just has this stuff free and unlocked. You take it and whoop, you came up. They have the IMEI numbers on the devices. They put these in store mode so you can't even get the full capability out the devices. They're going to shut these devices down, but this reminds me of the summer of love when everybody was doing all that rioting over George Floyd and then they were looting stores and everything. This is how you know. This right here. The Bible talks about how in the end times there will be lawlessness and all this sort of stuff. This is what this is. These LA riots over illegals, these people looting, that's all we're getting there. We're just heading closer and closer to the end times because this makes no sense. Like, this doesn't accomplish anything that they're trying to. It's just stupid. And one thing that COVID really ruined, man, when COVID introduced these masks and these shiesties and stuff, we ruined society. Now you can still commit crimes, do anything you want. As long as you got on these masks and you're shiesty and stuff, you're good. But I mean, like, look at this. And people wonder why people are leaving California in droves because you're living in a dumpster. Not only do you have Skid Row and the homelessness is out of control in California, but you having the wildfires, the governor and stuff's not doing anything there. Then you have looting and people stealing broad daylight. Now they've been riding 5 days straight over illegals being deported. They're waving Mexican flags, they live in America. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. This is like completely unacceptable. They probably don't even have enough police for all these people, honestly. And like, what does robbing the Apple store have to do with absolutely anything? I don't know, man. I'm really just tired of I'm really tired of seeing all this. You know, I'm tired of seeing all this, man. But anyways, man, leave a comment down on what you guys think. I think this is all stupid. I don't know why they're protesting this hard for illegals. If you're illegal, if you cross the border illegally and you're not undocumented, you're not a citizen, if you cross the border illegally, then they're going to send you back. If you cross legally, you have nothing to worry about. It's as simple as that. But hey, man, it's been your boy Chad. I hope y'all enjoyed watching. Like I said, I'm gonna be back dropping videos and bangers for you guys. So yeah, I'm out. Peace.